great to see you.
Great to see you
Thanks.
too, man.
Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
Um,
Happy to do that.
Thanks, man. So, yeah, to start, on behalf of Australian Musician Magazine, congratulations on the new album. Sounds
Oh, thank
fantastic.
you very much, man. Listen, it's actually getting a really great response so far.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. So I wanted to sort of go through track by track. I've got some observations and questions and stuff. If you're all right with that.
Ask me anything you want, man.
Cool, that's great. Yeah, I've been hammering it since it came out. So
Oh, thanks.
loving the production, loving the solos, loving a lot of things about it. So yeah,
I really restrained myself on this one. Last record, I freaked out, played that's all the shit I wanted to play.
Yeah.
It was more or less I'm going to restrain myself and not, because everybody in the world is. I mean, there's so many incredible players out there. I thought, well, I'm going to do the opposite of everybody, play slower melodic stuff.
But that's
sometimes
what
do
you're known
best
for, right?
anyway. I mean, when you got guys like my bro Nuno out there killing it, I'm like, okay, he's got that part. Let me do the other part.
Yes, he's having a go too at the moment. It's great. Great to see them doing new things.
I love to see the guy that works that hard, is that passionate. I mean, we've been friends for 100 years. I mean, I love it.
Yeah.
And he sent me the record early on, and I just loved it. I've been championing. I mean, I've always been an extreme fan anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. That's cool.
Anyway,
so firstly, before we get into track by track, the title Bridges, what's that? What's that about? What does it mean to you?
Well, I mean, originally I'm like, what are we gonna call this thing? And there was a song on the album called Burning Bridges, but I didn't want to call it that because that has much more of a nasty or negative, like fuck you kind of vibe to it.
Sure,
and that's what the lyric of the song is. But I like the bridges. I go, something about bridges, but I go, bridges. If I make it like a bridge between what my solo stuff is and what ToTO stuff is, from being young, being old, it's a bridge from that. It's a bridge of my life. I thought it was just a nice, cool one world title.
Yeah, that's cool.
People can make it what they wish,
Yeah. Okay, so opening track, the epic Far From Over.
That's my son. I got to give my son Trevor.
Yeah, that's great.
He basically brought the track in almost finished, and Joseph and I helped him with the lyrics and the melodies and just kind of putting it all together. But he basically came in with that fully formed.
So he's playing bass, right? He's playing bass on that track.
He plays all the clean guitar parts, all the bass, the keyboards, background vocals. Engineered, produced, and and then Simon played drums, and I played the crunchy guitars and the solos, and Joe did some keyboards, and we all did background vocals and stuff.
Right. Do you like when you have? I noticed that you're sharing production credits with Joseph and Trev. Do you like sort of relinquishing a bit of that control, like, and just being
I
the
did that for
musician?
this whole record. I let Joseph. We were recording it in Joseph's house. So Joe lives alone. He doesn't have a relationship. I don't have a studio in my house, and I wanted to just be the artist this time. I just said, tell me what you want me to do. And he loves to sit around and tinker stuff when nobody's around. So his like, I'd work for 3 or 4 hours during the day, and then he would fuck around with it. I'd come in and go, oh, that's great. I love what you did, And then we started adding on like that. I mean, we made the whole thing from the first note of the first song to ready to be mixed in 3 weeks.
Right. Wow. Yeah, that's getting it done.
So I mean, we just went in and worked every day.
Yeah.
He'd work into the night and come back with all this cool shit. We overdubbed drums, and I played bass on a couple 3 things, and Lee Sklar, my buddy Jurgen Carlson, Trev played on one song.
Yeah.
And the rest is Paige and Joseph and me on keyboards. And my son.
Oh, you're doing keys as well.
Well, yeah, I'm on the ballad. My old songwriting partner Randy Goodrum and I wrote. That was the only song that I had kind of like pieces of, and I never finished for this record. I think it was written specifically for the record.
Right.
This song, I said, well, if we're gonna do a shameless '80s record, let's do one of these. Nobody does this shit anymore.
Man, I've got some questions about that.
I finished the music on the keyboards and wrote the bridge and all that shit and figured it out. And then I went to Randy. I go, Randy, I need one of your Randy lyrics. He's the guy that wrote I'll Be Over You with me and all that stuff, all the records. So we revisited that vibe, and it was kind of fun. The whole thing was like a total a wink back to 1986, 87, whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
We just made that kind of a record. We didn't really say much about it, but I just said, let's go do it. Nobody else is making music like this. Let's do something like this.
Yeah.
It's what we do. It's what we do. I mean, and the reaction has been surprisingly great. I mean, people are like, they dig the fact that we just said, fuck it. I'm not trying to be trendy. I'm just trying to made a record for fun, and it was really a lot of fun to make.
It's not too often I can have a conversation with an artist about their production and what they've done with that, and certainly that's certainly what it sounds like to me. It's a big 80s, just washy reverbs and stuff there, but
production, lots of shit, lots of reverb, lots of shit. Yeah, come on, man.
How much of that did you have your hand in? How much do you get involved in the mixing and mastering process and that sort of thing? Do you step away?
I'm involved, but I pretty much let everybody take the lead. But I came in at the end. I had final say, which is my executive producer credit.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, nothing got past me that I didn't like, but I let everybody go. I go, look, finish your idea and then present it, and then I'll give you my notes.
Right.
And my notes weren't very much. I mean, it might be like, oh wow, that sounds great, but blah blah blah. Here's what I think. I'd make this move. There were subtle moves, and it was done very quickly.
Yeah, cool.
I mean, it's not a computer kind of mix where it's all super high-endy and like drums and all that stuff. I mean, more of an 80s sort of production in the sense of where that was all sitting and the effects that we use and everything like that. So
for sure, with a fuller bottom end and like a more modern sound to it.
It's got some of it has a big fat back bottom end that scares some people, and some of the other songs are more what people expect,
Yeah.
But like I said, we didn't overthink it. We did the record real fast, and this is what came out.
I mean, wow, that's great.
I go, this is all the time I have to do here, which is why there was only 8 tracks because
right.
So I mean, here it is now. It just come out and it's doing pretty good, so I can't complain,
Yeah, man. Well, it sounds fantastic. All right, let's go through a couple. Actually, just on Trev for a moment before we move on. I've been listening to some of his solos and some of the stuff that he's been doing. He doesn't mind the odd epic track and epic solo himself, like the sound that he did recently.
Man, he likes the big production, man. I mean, off on him, and he's producing records for other artists now and writing for them. He's got a cool new project, actually.
Yeah.
I'm not really supposed to talk about it, but it's with Phil Collins' kids playing drums.
Wow, great.
Really got a singer and this bass player guy. It's incredible. So that's kind of exciting for him. He's got a bunch of shit going on.
Do you hear yourself in his playing, like he's soloing? I can definitely hear some touches in there for sure.
There's a little family resemblance sometimes, but he's kind of finding his own voice with all that,
Yeah.
My only advice to him when he was a kid was like, we don't need any more guys that go like that. I said, there's so many great guys that do it.
Yeah.
And Lord knows, nobody did it better than Ed, as far as I'm concerned. So I mean, and he grew up around Ed. I just said, don't be like that. Of
course, man.
There's a lot of guys that do it, and a lot of guys that do it great. I said, if you really make a living, be a great rhythm guitar player, be a great parts, great parts, write songs, get good, interesting sounds, and make melodic, memorable solos.
Yeah,
there's room for flash. Yeah, you can throw some of that shit in there. I said, in the end, what really counts.
Yeah.
There's a million great guitar players. There's not a million great songs.
Yeah, right. Good point. So let's go through tracks. So Not My Kind of People starts off with that nasty riff with the octave down in guitar, and you've got like a Beatles pre-chorus thing going on, which I love. And the hilarious lyrics.
Man, the way we wrote songs for the record is like we just come in the morning, like okay, probably about 11 o'clock. Show up at Joe's, make a cup of coffee, and go, okay, anybody got anything?
Nice.
And that motivation, and there'd be Joe would be at the mixing desk with the computer and a keyboard. Dave would be behind the keyboard. I'd have my guitar on, microphone, and we just start riffing on somebody come up with something. I go, I got the little riff here, and then Dave would go, how about this B section? And then we're off to and then Joe go, well, what are the chorus? And he come up with a melody, and within 2 hours, we got a really good skeleton with a track that we've done some overdubs on, and we got la 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 melodies and maybe a song title idea. Go, okay, great, we'll send this off to Stan Lynch so we can get a lyric tomorrow.
Right. So I was going to ask about the lyrics for that
I
specifically.
wanted to do it fast. I mean, some of it
Yeah.
I did myself. I mean, some of it we did ourselves. Me and Joe and Dave did, but a lot of it I sent off to Stan because he just writes such hilarious, not
Right.
my kind of people. I mean, because him and I have been friends for 45 some odd years, and we've been through a lot of life shit, and we know each other's shit, and we can relate to it because there's a lot of
Right.
similarities in some areas.
Yeah.
Just the kind of jive ass people you have to deal with in the music business, you know what I mean? And people that have just fucked you over because that's the way people are these days, sadly.
Yeah. Yeah.
The very selfish world we live in. So it's that you're not my kind of people, man. Fuck off. You know what I mean?
It's so good.
So it's a funny lyric. And
Yeah.
that song wouldn't have been out of place on our album Kingdom of Desire. It was
Yeah,
very much
for
out of
sure.
the vibe.
Yeah.
So that sort of inspired. Oh, Kingdom of Desire, you want this kind of shit? So I came up with the initial riff, and then we went from there. You know?
How long do you spend more time on vocals than you do on guitar? What takes you the longer?
Yeah, because I need a lot more time on vocals. I mean, my guitar parts I fucking rip through and fucking it's done in 2 minutes. You know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But singing, I mean, that's why Joseph really deserves his fucking production credit because he got vocals out of me and was able to manipulate double track vocals.
Oh man, that's yeah.
And I did a lot of takes, man. We'd get the lyric, and the next day I'd be in there going, "Okay, I'm gonna stand here until you know you got this." And I would leave Joe to it to put something together, and he put together these incredible, he really produced my vocals, man, and it made me sound better than I really am.
Man, you sound as good as you ever have. That sounds great. Better than you ever have, really.
I actually sang the shit, but I mean, the way he fucking put it together and the way what he got out of me. Because at the time I hadn't been singing at all. I'd been like 2 years off.
Of course, yeah.
So I was like, acting up fur balls in between, I mean, we had a
Not
few
match
laughs.
fit.
We had a few laughs over it, but I mean, it was great for me to be able to work real hard for a few hours and just leave and come back the next day. And he goes, "Here's what I got." I'd be like, "Fuck, that's amazing, dude. Thank you."
Yeah, right. Oh, nice.
That's how we made the whole record. Pretty much.
Cool. Someone?
Happy to relinquish the job.
Yeah. Okay.
I paid everybody. I'm the last guy to get paid. I didn't really make anything on this. I put it all into the record, but I did records. People go, "Why are you doing this?" Blah, blah, blah. Because every once in a while you got to scratch the creative itch. I don't mind going out playing Hold the Line in Africa and all that shit. You know, I mean, it makes a blessing. It's a great gift. Thank you, Lord, for my gifts and abundance and all that good stuff.
For sure.
But you got to do something new once in a while. You know what I mean? I know the record. I mean, it's not like we're gonna have a #1 record and sell 10 million records like we did in 1983. You know, but most of us that like really do this because we like to do this. It's not just about a paycheck. It's about, I mean, if you're an artist and you paint something and all of a sudden becomes really super popular, well, everybody's famous for that, but it doesn't mean you stop painting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But you're also one of our greats, man.
I never have a painting that sells for $2 million or whatever, but you're still a painter. You're gonna paint.
Yeah.
And you'll stand next to your famous painting and go, "Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, got lucky." But you try every time. We try every time. I don't. It's not like it's just a stupid record. Who cares? I try.
But you're one of our greats, man. You're one of our legends that are still making music, and that's important. I think that's an important thing.
I earned all this white hair.
I know you did. I heard you read your autobiography. I know you did.
Stopped dying it last October, man. This is it. Man. It's fucking scary, isn't it?
You're rocking the white. It's good. I like it.
Well, my son, it was Trev. He goes, "Pop, when I turned 65 last October, he goes, it's time.
No one's buying it. You got to do it.
Yeah. Oh, this coming in. He goes, I think it's time, man." I am I'll be 66 years old in October. I'll be fucking jet black hair. It's like, okay. Even Ringo, who I thought would give me shit about the white hair, he goes, "No, on you, I love it.
He's still dying his.
Don't cut your hair." I'm like, okay, myself. Now I'm just pissing off all my old bald friends. You know what I mean? Like, fuck you.
You got it.
You still got fuck you. It's pretty funny, actually.
That's gold. So I want to ask you some detailed questions about some of these solos, and if you just blasted through them and you don't remember, that's okay. But I just wanted to ask you some things about some stuff you've done. Cool. So in Someone, and this album's just full of these classic solo moments for me, because like you said, you're quite melodic, which is some of your favorite playing for me. But you started that with like a really wide modulation effect just on one note, which you're kind of known for in a really good way, I think, over the years. No, I mean that positively. I don't mean that.
I'd love to tell you that I thought about it a lot. But
Yeah, okay.
Are we gonna do one? Oh, okay. And I just rip one off, and Joe, we'd go at the end. I play one.
Yeah.
I go, that's pretty good. And he goes, yeah, let's put this one part, do this, blah blah. I go, okay, let me fix that one bit, But I didn't like come in, with the exception of the only thing that was kind of more basically the melody was the ballad. That was the only one that I kind of like.
All Forever's Much Then.
I should really kind of state the melody, give or take,
Yeah.
But the rest was all improvised solos, I just said I'm not going to play fast on purpose. I'm not doing it.
Right.
There's a tendency to go, okay, I can do it right here. But I'm not gonna.
But your solos tend to, I mean, even Steve Vai said it, right? In your forward for your book, he even said that the way, when he saw you at the baked potato jam, he saw you and he talked about that. But man, like, to be honest, I mean, there's
a very kind, beautiful man to say all that nice shit about me.
Well, I think it's pretty accurate. I didn't actually know who it was saying that at the start when I heard him, when I first heard it said. But certainly for me, something like Rosanna, you've got these classic, even the shortest solos of yours tend to have some sort of start, build, crescendo, soundtrack style composition to them. Okay, and I was just wondering how you go around that. I know you can't pick which are classic. You wouldn't have picked that. Probably the Rosanna was going to be the one.
I would love to tell you I'm this really smart guy that really like, oh yeah, man, I really think this shit through, but I don't.
It's just what comes out.
Shit that comes out of me without me thinking about it too much. I know my way around the neck. I know what the notes are, but I never know what's really going to come out. I just kind of follow through, and generally my first or second take is going to be about as good as it gets.
Right.
Unless it's something I really got to dig into, which doesn't happen very often. I'm not really trying to be a show-offy guitar player at this point of the game. There's, like I said, there's a million guys that are
doing it. Yeah.
A million girls scary good.
Yeah, true.
Girls really brought their A game. I'm real proud of them. And
yeah,
I'm friends with a lot of the girl guitar players. I'm just, I just think it's fabulous that all these female musicians in all instruments are just, they're not just like, oh, she's good for a girl. They say, no, she's fast for anybody.
They're bringing something different to the game too. I think they bring a different touch and a different soul to it.
Every bit as good as a man.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
The kids or the young kids, they'll grow into it, but the older ones that can play are like very impressive.
Yeah, nice. On some gear questions. So you're currently using your Luke 3 and
L4.
Yeah,
L4. They were giving me some new prototypes. Basically, nice. the guitar I use for the whole album is that green L4.
Yeah,
that's the only electric guitar I use. That's it.
Pickups in that? Are they the transition or are they the...
No, those are the new Music Man pickups.
Music Man ones. Yeah.
And they wanted me to try them, and I love them. I went, well, okay, and there was a lot of reasons for that, but I love Larry and all the stuff, new stuff that he makes, and I still have guitars that I use that that I do. But on this particular record, I just I used that. I had that guitar. I played through my Bogner amp.
Yeah.
A couple boxes on the ground. Most of the effects were done at the desk. Reverb.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Compression and that sort of thing. I let that.
Yeah.
Be the engineer's task at that point, so we'd have more control over it. But I used a couple sound boxes, distortion, and wah-wah and shit, but nothing fancy.
So the new pickups, are they active or are they passive with the active preamp in them? Right. Okay. Yeah. Because you were such a big part of the development of EMGs and stuff in the 80s and all of that, right? So
they kind of like forgot about me, man. They weren't really interested in what I was doing anymore. I mean, I really was in there early on.
Yeah.
And I went to the NAMM show and like they had pictures of all the artists except for me, and I'm like, wow, really?
Right.
And I think they felt embarrassed about it. And then they owed me a bunch of money, so I was like, that was kind of weird.
Right.
I still use those guitars. I still love EMG pickups.
I was going to ask you if you still,
I still have them. I got the Goldie right here with the great EMGs in it. they make. I still have all my shit. I mean, I use different
Yeah.
stuff depending on what it is, but right now I'm just really loving the Music Man guitars they've been sending me are fantastic. So
Yeah. Oh, they're beautifully made guitars, aren't they? They're just,
really are.
yeah. So yeah, so you've got. Do you still? I mean, I'm a fan of the old rack gear, and I'm not going to drag you through your Starlix
I
video or anything
still
like
have
that. But
all
I
of it.
just
I still got all of it.
still got all of it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, man. It's in a warehouse, but I just first of it's a pain in the ass to carry around. I mean,
Yeah.
the freight bills are insane these days. I mean, it's
Yeah.
gone up 75%. It's just not cost effective to bring that shit around.
Yeah.
Plus, digital doesn't like to be banged around much. And it was just easier to carry this other shit around 70-pound fucking pedal board.
Yeah.
Like,
Is there anything you miss? Anything in particular you miss the sound of? Anything you get nostalgic about that you miss the tone of?
I haven't. It's been a long time. It's been a long time since I heard it that way.
Right.
Been at least 12 years.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, there's some great sounds in there. I mean, all those old PCM 70s with the cool circular and all that. I mean, it had a different sound and the different amplifiers I was using back then, the Bradshaw stuff, the Sultano stuff.
Yeah, sure.
There's still great stuff in all,
Excellent. So, All Forever Must End, the power ballad you were talking about before. Just again, a great solo. I'm going to keep going back to solos. You may blaze through it one take, but it's fantastic.
That's an emotive play off the melody. That's all I do.
Yeah, for sure.
I said, what am I supposed to play with? I'm not going to solo over this in the sense of let me. I said this really calls for a real melodic statement, So I kind of like played the melody and fucked around with a little bit, a real legato version of it, and that's what came out.
Yeah.
I think that was take two. I went, well, I think that's probably about as good as it's going to get.
That outro solo, there's like a small outro solo that's just like perfectly finishes the song as well, which is probably a similar thing.
That was just one take and me fucking around. And at the end, I said, should we keep that? And he goes, yeah, no, that's good. Let's keep that.
But you're just so match fit from, decades of studio gigs and writing this stuff, right? This comes out of you now.
I don't think that much, man. I don't think much. I mean, I'm really not some boy genius. It just flows out from me for whatever particular reason. My instincts are correct. So I have an instinct of what to play. I mean, I try to play what's right for the song.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a little old to be trying to impress all the guitar players at this point in my life.
Was there a point where that was what it was? It was about trying to.
Everybody when they're young, I was a teenager when I started. Of course, you want to be the fastest in the West. You want to be who's the baddest guy? I want to make sure that I can play as good as that or better or whatever. I'm gonna go find it. I'm gonna learn all this shit and steal it from him. That's a young man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
When I understand that I started out strumming my guitar to Beatles records. It's not like today where you're opening. The first thing you learn how to play is Eruption by Van Halen. You know what I mean?
That's the start.
That's the starting place.
Yeah,
you can create a monster that way.
Yeah, and I think it does.
That's where you start, where you go.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly there's some unbelievable technicians right now that are it's insane. But that's, Ed was doing it for a different reason.
Yeah.
And he just fell upon something and made it his own, and then everybody ran with it, and it turned into what it turned into, So I went through that phase for a minute in the 90s, in the early 90s, everybody was going like this. It was like, okay, man, I don't do that anymore. There's a lot of things I don't do anymore. That's one of them.
Yeah, I heard your autobiography.
Zero, right?
Nice. Okay, when I see you again, that's like the classic 80s straight ahead rock track.
Right. No, yeah, I mean,
fantastic.
That was like, I could have been on our Isolation record.
Yeah, for sure. And I like the riff after the second chorus. You've got like the big guitar riff with you and Mr. Page and Mr. Phillips, and you just, he's doing his flourishes over the top, and it brings a smile straight to your face.
It just comes out by accident. That's what we play together. I mean, that's when I said I wanted to do a record with Dave and Joe, and then it would be great to bring back Simon and Shannon, and just because they're not in the band right at the moment doesn't mean that we don't like each other.
Yeah, for sure.
everybody wants to do different things. Everybody wants to be the leader of their own thing. Is really what it is. Particularly in Simon's case. He
Right.
was took over for Keith. Well, he took over for Jeff Lukather. I was like, okay, I don't want to take over
Yeah.
for dead guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they're big shoes, but
I wanted to
yeah.
have the Simon Phillips band and play the music that he loves to play and do it, be the boss. And
Yeah.
he's doing that. It's thriving in it. He's doing really well. He's really happy. Hey, everybody wins, right?
Yeah. Nice.
There's no bad
Uh,
blood. Love and respect, man.
yeah. Burning Bridges, is it my imagination, or is there some Billy Gibbons-esque
Oh,
tone slash riff type thing going on there?
no, that's I went right for my Billy Gibbons setting.
Good. I'm glad I haven't
Which is
spoken out
nice,
of
but
turn.
you put an out of phase position in the back pickup and you roll all the tone control off.
Yeah.
That's how you get that sound.
Yeah.
I still like the Jeff Beck.
Nice.
And I said, well, David started playing the piano, the Wurlitzer riff. And
Yeah.
I said, how about this? Like, we need a shuffle. Okay, great. So that fell together very quickly. We were playing that groove for 5 minutes. We go, let's just lay on that beat, man. Let's just see how that feels for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once we got it into a feeling really good, we just rolled it and just went from there,
Yeah.
Like
Nice.
Z Pop meets Steely Dan.
Yeah, for sure. That's chord progressions
Well,
afterwards. Yeah.
I always got to give a little wink to Steely Dan on every solo record I've ever done. I've always had one song that has a little nod because they're like one of my all-time favorite desert island bands. Steely Dan had a big impact on me as a young man. They're still great albums.
Yeah. 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 So last song, I'll Never Know. So you got like the phaser going on with
Oh,
like
that
the
was the
phase
first.
guitar
That
thing.
was the first thing we wrote. Day
Oh,
one,
right.
Joe,
Okay.
me and Joe sitting in the room, and I
Yeah.
and I had just gotten this miniature, the little mini Phase 90,
Yeah. 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 Another one.
and I had it on and turned it on slow, and I just started going. And I started playing that minor six thing, and then Joe goes, "Oh, that's great. Let's go." I go, "Let's go deep Pink Floyd, heavy Pink Floyd
Hey,
on
I was about to say Pink Floyd by the chorus. That's
it."
epic.
So that's what came out, man. Real heavy, dark, sad song.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
But
great.
that sort of set the pace.
So when you're playing guitar in general, do you prefer to be? Are you in the amp room with the amp moving the trouser legs from the
Yeah, I mean,
quarter box type guy?
I was sitting. My amps were, the speaker cabinets were in another room, mic'd up.
Yeah.
I was just sitting in the control room with Dave and Joe. Just so we're just flesh to flesh.
Have you always preferred to do it that way?
Yeah, man. Fucking
Yeah.
headphones are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
I mean, believe me, I spent a lot of decades with headphones on my head.
Yeah. I bet.
My hearing is a little bit messed up, and I hear better if I'm just in the room. I don't listen real loud anymore. I can't do that to myself anymore.
Do you do any in-ears live or
I have tonight tinnitus. I've got hearing loss. I wear fucking hearing aids. It's just. I mean, It's equal in both ears, and I can hear, but it's just loud. It hurts. I
Yeah.
use pull them out, and I use in ears live, and so I get a good mix. It took me a minute to get used to that, but
Would you say
I
that's a lot of that's from pumping it with the headphones or just from touring? Bit of both.
I've been playing amplified music since 1966.
That'll do it.
And when I was young, I played really super loud. And then
Yeah.
when I found the studios, I was wearing headphones for like 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
Feedbacks and all sorts of shit happened. Plus just turning up louder, louder, louder.
Yeah.
And it eventually, anybody would. What do they call it? Acoustic trauma.
Right.
Thanks a lot, man. I'm
Yeah.
traumatized you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right. I'm okay. I'm not making it any worse. I'm sort of like, I stopped it from getting worse because I started using earplugs 20 years ago when I play live. And then I started using in-ears because it was just better for singing and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
Hearing
Any other projects you're working on at the moment? You starting any new ones?
nothing. Well, I'm just finished the Ringo tour last week.
Oh yeah.
And then we're going to Japan July 7th for 2 weeks, and I come back and I got a little time off, and then back out with Ringo again, September, October, and then ToTO's doing some stuff at the end of the year.
And when do you come down here? Your manager mentioned it might be sometime next year, maybe.
The talks are happening right now about coming in, April.
Okay.
April, end of March, April, that whole summertime for you guys.
Yeah, I did see you last time you were here, but it's been a while.
Byron Blues and all that stuff. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Get some anchor dates and then do some of our own shows. And it'd be nice to get back. We had such a great time last time. It was such a successful tour. We can't wait to come back and play again.
Yeah, for sure. That was packed when I saw you, as it should be.
Good fun.
As it should be. One last thing. They do say that you shouldn't meet your heroes, but it seemed to work out for you at different times when you've become friends with them. Is there anyone that you wish that you'd met or spend time with that you didn't end up getting the chance to?
Jimi Hendrix.
Right.
That would have been a big one.
Yeah.
That was not feasible.
No.
But I have had a chance to work with and or meet most of my heroes, and the great ones are the nicest people. Anybody that's insecure about themselves, those are the ones that are unpleasant.
Yeah. Well,
or make everybody else feel unpleasant.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, that's rare, man. That's fucking rare. I mean, all the greats that we all know and love, the people that I met and become friends with or worked with over the years, greatest people in the world, man.
Yeah.
There's very few assholes, and and everybody knows who they are.
Yeah, that's right. Well known. Well, from my point of view, mate, meeting one of my heroes today with you is definitely a positive. So thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for yours. I appreciate your kindness, man. I'll catch you when I get back down, man.
Looking forward to meeting you in person. That'd be great.
Look me up. That'd be great. Thanks for your time, man.
Thank you, Luke.
Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.